y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about what to do if you feel like your skin barrier has become compromised. I've talked about the importance of our skin barrier staying intact in other videos. I will have those linked down below. This is something I want to talk about again today. Here in Canada are moving into the fall season, and in fall, as the outside temperatures go down, a lot of times that means we're going to start turning on our central heating inside, and central heating, it can dry out the skin, which can cause our barrier to become compromised. And when that happens and we continue using some topical ingredients like our exfoliating acids, vitamin C, and retinoids, typically something like that might not bother your skin. So then you are experiencing a skin condition which we call a compromised skin barrier, and your skin has become sensitized, which some side effects of your skin becoming sensitized could mean overproduction of oil. So if you think about someone with oily skin at baseline is quite regulated. Some people are more genetically disposed to being more oily or having drier skin. That's where you kind of get those skin types, which help you with navigating which products to buy for you. When your skin barrier is compromised, your skin is kind of working a little bit harder, or it's not working as much as it was, so you might experience more dryness or what we call dehydration. Dry skin is something that is genetic, and then dehydrated skin is a temporary skin condition which we can change. And then opposite end of the spectrum, oily skin, that is something that is kind of once again set at baseline based on our genetics, but your barrier becomes compromised, things get kind of out of whack, your skin will produce more oil. Before we get into what is a compromised skin barrier, we first have to look at what's going on. So let's do a quick little lesson about skin. Our skin is the largest organ of the body. If you think about it, it covers us head to toe. It protects us from the heat, the cold, external environments, pollution, all the little things that we experience throughout the day that could harm us. Our skin is there to protect us. With our skin being the largest organ of the body, it's the last to receive nutrients. So that means sometimes things with our skin can get a little out of whack, which can be something that causes our barrier to become compromised. Your skin consists of 3 different layers. So you have the epidermis, you have the dermis, and you have the hypodermis. We are looking at this top layer of our skin, which is called our epidermis. Our epidermis has 5 layers on itself. We're not going to get into that. That's too much. Don't really need to know about it. But we are focusing on that very top superficial layer of our epidermis, which is called the stratum corneum. So stratum corneum, without getting into too much detail about what it is, think about that as being brick and mortar. So you have your bricks and then you have the mortar which holds it together. When your barrier becomes compromised, the mortar becomes compromised and your mortar starts pulling apart. So then you have space between the bricks so things can get in or get out. That is why we want to keep our skin barrier intact. Moisture barrier is made up of things like fats, lipids, sebum or oil. Then you also have things like natural moisturizing factors. So there is a lot that goes into the moisture barrier, and that is something that there is a lot of science behind, and we don't want to worry about that. We want to worry about how to fix it. So let's talk about things we can do at home to keep our barrier intact, and if it gets out of whack, how to fix it. First thing we want to look at is cleansing our skin. And before we talk about anything you are going to put on your skin, we need to address temperature of water. Now, if you were like me, when I get in the shower or a bath, I like it hot, like very, very hot. Like those memes, your skin's gonna peel off, that is how I want my water to be. However, for your skin's health, that is not good. You want your water to be lukewarm or tepid. So it's not hot, it's not cold, it's that sweet spot right in the middle. And that way, it's just gonna keep your skin balanced. It's not going to shock it with extreme heat or extreme warmth. It's that right in the middle. It's almost like a scale, and that lukewarm water is going to level out the scale for your skin. That is the temperature you want your water, and you want to keep your skin cleansing as gentle as you can. You want to minimize your contact with water, because when your skin comes into contact with water, water is going to start evaporating from the skin. Evaporation is what we call transepidermal water loss. And transepidermal water loss is when water is evaporating from the skin, which can cause dehydration, which can cause your barrier to become compromised. So you want to keep everything as simple and as basic, and you want to kind of minimize the downtime between your steps, and you want to get something on your skin to seal the water in after it's exposed to water, so you can minimize your risk of that transepidermal water loss. First step you want to do is make sure you get all of your sunscreen, all of your makeup off, and I like to do that with a cleansing oil. The cleansing oil I'm currently using is by Kosei, and this is the Softy Mo Speedy Cleansing Oil. I picked this up in my Stylevana haul, and I really enjoy it. It is a no fuss cleansing oil. So I normally will take 2 pumps into clean, dry hands, put it in my hands, emulsify it, and then massage onto dry skin. This is going to help break up the films that hold together your makeup and sunscreen. So that is going to start breaking up. So that is what we would call your first cleanse. Think about your first cleanse as your step to get things off your skin. So this is going to make your second step cleansing, which is going to cleanse our skin a lot easier. When your skin barrier is compromised, I like to say avoid fragrance, because something like essential oils and fragrances, they are not bad in your skincare routine. If you enjoy it, they don't bother you, they're fine. But if your skin barrier is compromised, you are experiencing sensitized skin, and fragrances and essential oils, they can irritate your skin when your barrier is compromised. So just to be on the safe side, if you want to avoid fragrance, it won't hurt anything. It will just kind of minimize your risk for adding excess irritation to the skin. Now that we've kind of started to break everything up, we can look at our second step cleanser. I have 5 cleansers we're going to talk about. That is a ton, especially compared to only 1 cleansing oil. But I have 5 because different skin types will like different cleansers, and I've separated it into 3 categories. So you have ones that people with normal to dry skin might enjoy, and then you have ones that people with more normal to oily skin will enjoy. Starting with our dry skin cleansers, the 2 I think you will like the most are the Aveeno Calm and Restore cleanser. This is a nice kind of jelly cleanser. It's not gonna foam up, it's not gonna bubble, it's not gonna do anything like that. It is a very creamy, gentle formula that's really good for comforting the skin, getting off that oil cleanser, and taking anything off. This step is to cleanse your skin to prepare you to put your topical products on before you go to bed. So this is a great one. Another tried and true, you've seen this in the empties videos, I've talked about it in pretty much every skincare video I've done, the La Roche-Posay Toleriane Dermo Cleanser. This is a beautiful milky cleanser. This is a cleanser I've used for years. I've recommended to many different people, and I've never had anyone tell me this bothers their skin. That's not to say that it won't bother your skin. Everyone's skin is different. This is just a very simple, no fuss formula that is generally well tolerated. Remember, if you use something that I suggest, your dermatologist, esthetician, or any other person here on YouTube or social media, there's always the possibility for irritation. There is no kind of one size fits all safe for everyone. My next one is one that sits kind of in the middle. I talked about this in my ranking cleanser video. This is the Selfless by Hyram Centella and Green Tea Cleanser. Gel base, it doesn't foam up, it doesn't really bubble up. It's a very kind of creamy gel cleanser. It is a very kind of minimal formula for what it does, for how much you get. It's a little overpriced. I'm going through a series of 4 chemical peels, getting my skin ready for going back home for the holiday season. I've been using this a lot, and I'm finding it to be very nourishing and comforting to the skin. It has a gel base, so if my skin's feeling a little bit more oily, then this is really nice. I've got 2 other kind of gel cleansers we're going to talk about. I prefer those over this, and you get a lot more product for the costs, which makes them better values for money. But if you're curious about this cleanser, you want to try it out, it's a very, very nice one, and you can pick it up at Sephora. Oldie but a goodie, another product I've talked about, and I think every skincare video I've done, this is the CeraVe Foaming Facial Cleanser. Some people do say that this feels a little too drying for their face, and for me, I am someone with more normal to oily skin, and I find people typically with that skin type really, really enjoy this cleanser, and it's also great for your body. And a nice thing with CeraVe products, they all have a blend of 3 different essential ceramides, which are part of our skin barrier. That's why CeraVe products have been really popular within the skincare market and amongst dermatologists, because CeraVe's kind of baseline is all about protecting the integrity of your skin barrier, keeping your risk for irritation as low as you can. Now, just because that is the intent of the formula of the product does not mean it's going to work for everyone. While CeraVe is generally well tolerated for a lot of people, there are people out there who find the formulas to be very irritating, or they find them too drying. It's skincare, like I said, it's not one size fits all. You kind of have to kiss a couple frogs before you find the right product for you. This is just a product I really enjoy, and it's normally well tolerated by people who have normal to oily skin. Beautiful cleanser. This is the Bioderma Sensibio, and this is their Soothing Micellar Cleansing Foam Gel. This does have a little bit of a foaming action. If you want to kind of cleanse your skin, have a little bit of like shower, sing your like at the car wash song, this is a fun cleanser. Another one I like to use on my body. This is almost like the pretty pink sibling to the CeraVe one. This does not have the same ceramide complex that the CeraVe one does. So this one could work for people who are irritated by the CeraVe formula. I like this because it comes in a huge size. I love the basic Bioderma Sensibio for smoothing stubborn makeup around the eyes. This is just a really nice French pharmacy staple that I love, and it's generally well tolerated for people who have more normal to oily skin and are experiencing barrier compromisation. So now you are finished cleansing your skin. We need to create a seal on the skin to prevent that transepidermal water loss. We need to moisturize. We need to get moisture on the skin. We need something with an occlusive factor to create a seal. So think of occlusives like adding a saran wrap to your skin. It's going to create a barrier so nothing gets in, nothing gets out. This is where a basic moisturizer comes in, and in this situation, don't look at basic as being something negative. A basic product when you're dealing with a compromised skin barrier is excellent. So when you're looking for a moisturizer, we have our classic brands like CeraVe, Cetaphil, Avène, La Roche-Posay, Bioderma Sensibio, Aveeno. There's a few different brands. I'm going to show you a few that I have here in my home that are generally well tolerated, and I will put some other links down below. I'm just going to get this out of the way because I talk about it all the time. You're going to be like, oh my goodness, stop. CeraVe Moisturizing Cream. This is the one in the tub. You have that ceramide hyaluronic acid blend to put a nice occlusive seal on the skin, nourish and feed your skin without feeling heavy or adding fragrance or anything that could potentially irritate your skin. So this is generally a well tolerated product, hydrating, but I don't find it feel sticky or greasy and if you use the right amounts. Now, with this product and most of your moisturizers, you don't need a lot. Use a little bit, create a layer or a barrier on the skin. I don't know how my husband does it, but he'll use this on his body, and then like I'll touch his arm or something. I'm like, ew, what are you doing? And he's like, I applied this moisturizer. I'm like, what? I use this. I don't feel that, but if you use too much, it's gonna feel heavy on the skin. So use a little bit, spread it out, you're good to go. The CeraVe PM Facial Moisturizing Lotion is one of my favorite moisturizers. It does have the inclusion of niacinamide. Niacinamide, even though it is a generally well-tolerated beneficial ingredient for the skin, can cause the skin to stink. So I recommend starting with something like this that's more basic, get through this, and then you can move into something like this because niacinamide has a lot of great benefits for the skin, but sometimes if your barrier is compromised, it can stink. For me, with my skin barrier is compromised, I don't notice this stinks, but I've been using this since I believe 2015 is when I started using this in my skincare routine. So I'm well acclimated to the niacinamide in this product. If you're at the drugstore, you want something a little bit more kind of luxurious, soothing, cocooning feeling on the skin. You want your compromised barrier to feel nourished. You want a little bit more of an experience with your moisturizer. That's where my love for the Olay Regenerist fragrance-free ones come into play. The very first one I talked about was the Regenerist Overnight, I believe is what it's called. It's in the purple one. I keep hearing that might be discontinued. I don't know. I still can find it at Shoppers and on the Olay Amazon storefront. Here I have the Olay Regenerist Collagen Peptide Hydrating Moisturizer, fragrance free, and then I have the Olay Regenerist Whip, also fragrance free. I'm gonna have someone that probably comes from me. This reminds me of the texture of the regular Creme de la Mer moisturizer, except this is a fraction of the price. There's no scent. It's absolutely stunning. I love it. And I got this in a Costco 2-pack for like $45. So that's great. And then the other one is the Olay Regenerist Whip. It has almost like a primer consistency. Think about something like your basic kind of like Smashbox primer, something that has a little bit of a silicone filling. This is really nice. It dries down really, really quickly, and it gives a soft kind of like blurring effect to pores and texture on the skin. So this is a really nice one. There is also an Olay Regenerist Rich, which is a more hydrating formula, which is great for people with dry to very, very dry skin. So wonderful moisturizers. Here in Canada, they retail for about $35 to $40, but like I said, you can normally find them at Costco in a 2-pack. Another nice one, which I just finished, it was in my empties, is the Aveeno Calm and Restore. That is a really nice one. It's more of a gel cream, so that's nice for people who have more normal to oily skin, who like more lightweight textures on the skin. Another one that is great to talk about, and it's a must, mine happens to also be from Olay Regenerist. This is the Olay Regenerist Mineral SPF. When I did my ranking mineral SPF video, this was one of my top picks. I took a point off of it, giving it a 4 out of 5 stars because it's expensive for how much you get. It's 50 mils. I believe it's around $35. Not sure, but it's higher up for a mineral sunscreen. It's beautiful. I can apply this 2 layers. Sometimes I apply even more than that. I can reapply it throughout the day. It never leaves my skin looking white or casty. It's a stunning mineral, and this says a mineral SPF of 30. And I specify mineral sunscreen filters because mineral sunscreen filters, they sit on top of the skin. They almost create a shield on the skin. And for people with barrier compromisation, mineral SPFs tend to be a little bit more gentle. If you think about how we treat skin post-procedure in clinic, we normally go for mineral sunscreens because they tend to be more well tolerated by people with sensitive or sensitized skin. Now, mineral sunscreens do have horrible reputation of being very white and casty and chalky. So this is one I really like. I feel like this will work for most everyone, for people from very fair to medium skin types. There are some really wonderful mineral SPFs that people with darker skin tones might enjoy, and those are from Ulta MD. If I can, I will find the links and put them in the description box down below. Another great option is tinted mineral sunscreen. So sunscreens that have a tint, they normally have the inclusion of iron oxides, which will create a little bit of a color and create a shield on the skin, which is great for especially darker skin tones, because darker skin tones, whether their barrier is impaired or not, they are more prone to something we call hyperpigmentation, which is brown spots. So iron oxides do have promising data backing the benefits for darker skin types dealing with hyperpigmentation. But mineral sunscreens, they tend to be more well tolerated. However, I do find some of the chemical sunscreens I've tried from Japanese and Korean brands to be very, very gentle on the skin, and when my barrier is feeling compromised, they don't irritate me. So that's another one. I'll link a few of my favorites down below as well. There's gonna be a lot for you to check on that description box. Let me know if you find description boxes helpful in the comments down below. A few other little products I want to add in that aren't must, but I find them very helpful. If you are someone who likes to do face masks, I really love using the Avène Tolerance mask. This is a nice cream mask. I use it once, twice a week. I'll normally apply a very generous layer and then get into the bath, have a soak, do an Epsom salt soak, let my body kind of calm down, relax. It's a really nice hydrating mask. It's very soothing, very comforting. It's like putting a nice duvet over your facial skin. It's just a really wonderful product that I find very, very beneficial when my skin's feeling agitated or my barrier is compromised. If you are someone who deals with a compromised barrier, eczema, which is another form of barrier compromisation, then something like a barrier balm is really helpful because this is going to be a more heavyweight, comforting blanket. So these do have a little bit more of like a diaper rash cream consistency. This is going to almost be like the weighted blanket to your skincare routine. It's going to have a little bit more weight. You will feel it on the skin if you apply too much, but it has a lot of great benefits for kind of cocooning the skin, almost like cuddling the skin. I love my Avène Sulfate and my La Roche-Posay Cicaplast B5 Balm. These are thicker creams, but these are phenomenal for really taking care of agitated, irritated, sensitized skin. So these have a thicker feeling. I use them almost every single night because it's not going to hurt your skin by using it every night, but especially on the nights when I use a retinoid, I will take a little bit of this, dot it around my skin, specifically around my eyes, corner of the nose, sides of my mouth, where my retinoids can irritate my skin, and I will use them, and these are phenomenal. I've recommended to a few people. Once you get past the texture, I've heard nothing but great things from the people I've suggested these to, and they're generally pretty affordable. I can find them here in Canada at either Rexall, Shoppers Drug Mart, and they're just great little products to have on hand if you're someone who struggles with barrier compromisation. Now, if you feel like you are struggling with barrier compromisation, don't kill me for saying this, but if you feel like your skin is agitated, take a break, take a little skin vacation from things that can be agitating your skin, like your retinoids, exfoliating acids, and vitamin C. While they are great beneficial ingredients, they are very active, and if your skin is agitated, they can cause stinging, irritation, unwanted adverse side effects. So take a little break, and then once your barrier is restored, everything's back to normal, then you can put them back into your routine and go about your normal routine. But when your barrier is compromised, you want to treat it like a baby. You want to really take care of it. You want it to nourish it so that way it can come back together. You can get the mortar back between your bricks so everything is balanced. You have that nice safety seal on your skin. And in the long term, your skin will be happy because it won't feel itchy, it won't be burny, it won't be overly oily, it won't be overly dry, and it will just be happy. So these are my top tips with dealing with a compromised skin barrier, which is really common all throughout the year, but especially now going into fall and winter because central heating in homes can really dry out the skin. So I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Remember, check the description box down below for different product suggestions. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, y'all.